Discipline is that thing that highly driven and successful people have. And the rest of us just don't have that. If you're not naturally driven and born with it, you just cannot be disciplined. You either have it or you don't. There's no way to develop it over time. At least that's what I used to think. If instead of being consistent, you are stuck in a cycle of feeling bad, then deciding to change something, doing that for a while, falling off, feeling sad and mad at yourself for failing, and then finally feeling bad enough that you decide to change something again, then this video is for you. We'll talk about how you can make discipline work for you, because it is actually an amazing tool that can help us reach our goals and stop self-sabotaging. So I'm excited to share with you 5 mindset changes that will actually help you build discipline and finally live the life that you want to live. Fear of failure. This often comes from past beliefs that we created about ourselves while we were growing up. Maybe someone said something to you while you were growing up, maybe a teacher, maybe a family member, or just someone you knew. Like maybe someone has told you that you will never be successful and you truly just internalize that and believe that because you were a child. But now you're grown up, you're an adult, and you still believe that. So fear of failure really is an internal belief, and it's a limiting belief because it will stop you from doing the things you truly want to, just because you tell yourself you're not gonna be able to do it anyway. So why would you even start doing something? Why would you even try to work out? Try to be disciplined, try to build your business, try to get good grades because you're not gonna do it anyway. But failure is not the end. Failure is a part of the journey. Failure can happen at every single moment, and failure does happen, and we can move on from it. You know, every journey has its ups and downs. Failure is not the end. And you cannot keep avoiding failure. The only thing you can do is to learn how to work through it, how to navigate it. Fear of failure truly comes from past beliefs about ourselves. Why would you let things that happened in your childhood, or even more recently, why would you let things that happened in the past dictate your future? Why would you let it affect your present actions that ultimately build your future? There are so many examples of really successful people, and one common thing is that they didn't give up. If one company failed, or one business endeavor failed, or one thing that they were trying to do failed, they just went to the next one. Failure was just a way to learn more, a way to part with something that didn't work and continue on to better things that might actually work. And if you're looking at a lot of success stories, you see that they weren't overnight successes. They have failed so many times before they actually did something right. They just kept failing and kept learning and kept going, because it's not failure until you give up on something. If you want to have a successful YouTube channel, that takes a lot of discipline. That takes uploading a video even when no one is watching, even when you're not seeing results. And you only fail if you stop uploading videos. If you don't stop uploading videos, then at some point a video will do well. That might not be a guarantee, but it is a guarantee that if you stop uploading videos, you will never reach your goals and you will never grow your channel. So don't avoid failure. Failure is fine. Everyone fails, and you could even argue that the most successful people and all of the people we take inspiration from have failed the most. Maybe that's the most impressive part about it, being faced with failure and accepting it, being fine with failing and failing again, because you know that one day you will succeed. Too much discipline. Yeah, discipline can be too much. It doesn't have to take over every single aspect of your life. If you just go overboard, you will most likely burn out at some point and just hate your daily routine, and you will do it, right? Because you're disciplined, but you won't enjoy doing it. It doesn't bring you any happiness. It doesn't bring you any fulfillment. With discipline, you really need to find the optimum between enjoyable and difficult. Because yes, being disciplined means that sometimes we need to do the uncomfortable thing, the hard thing. But that doesn't mean that that needs to be every single day and in every single aspect of your life. You can have lazy days. You can have Sundays where you just chill on the couch, you watch reality TV, you go out with friends. You can do all of the things that are considered a productivity sin. Actually, you should do them. You need the rest, you need the balance, you need to just not be disciplined for a few hours a week at least. When I got to university, I used to think that if I wanted to be a good student, I had to spend my entire time studying. So I would spend every single day of the week at the library, because the library was the place that made me feel the most productive, that actually helped me be the most productive. Which basically meant that I would spend 100% of my free time trying to be 100% productive. I would go to the library would open at 9, and sometimes I would be there from 8 or 8:30 because there was usually a queue to get in, and if you weren't there early enough, you wouldn't get a seat. And I would do that every single day of the week. And sometimes I would be there until the library closed, which was 9 p.m. And I also specifically chose a library that would be open on Sundays, and the only time I wouldn't go was on bank holidays where it would actually be closed. And then I would just stay at home and study. And the most surprising thing was, my grades weren't even that good. I'm about to finish university, but lately my grades have been way better than they were back then. And now I am working out consistently. I have free time. I take Sundays completely off. I try not to do anything. Sometimes balance is really the key, and doing more will not always get us better results. If you are enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. Have you ever heard the quote, patience is a virtue? I am not a patient person. I am really not. I try, okay? I try my hardest, but I am not a patient person, and that quote annoys me so much. It's just so annoying, but it is true. I have to say, it is true. Building discipline takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And as much as this annoys me to say, you need to have patience, and you cannot expect results from one day to the other. If you do expect quick results, you're most likely not gonna be able to build any sort of consistency and discipline, because you will just go to the gym for a week. You will see that you got no results, so you will stop doing it. And that's exactly the point. Most people quit because they didn't have the patience to see the whole journey through. The things worth achieving take time. And patience is not only a virtue, but it is something you absolutely need. It is the backbone of discipline, really. To give you another really typical quote, discipline is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And marathons suck. You know what? I've been getting into running and it just sucks. You get started and you're like, yay! And then you're like a third through and everything hurts. You just want to stop. But after you get like 60% done, it usually starts feeling so good. And you're so happy. And then you finish whatever you had to run. And then you just want to keep going. It's so weird. And as someone who really disliked running for the majority of her life, it's so annoying. But I love it. There really is a beauty in having patience and seeing the results after putting in a lot of work. And when we think about the bigger picture, it truly is like running. You really need to try to embrace the process of just putting one foot in front of the other, and to also be aware that every single one of those small steps is actually a victory, because you're already that much closer to your finish line. When it comes to running, these are actual steps, but when it comes to discipline, these steps are resisting to hit the snooze button one day, going to the gym even though you don't feel like it one day, choosing to go to sleep instead of watching some more Netflix, and also choosing to study or work instead of procrastinating again. All of those are small things, but they do make a huge difference in the end if you're actually patient enough to see them through. So it is truly all about the journey and trying to enjoy these little pieces, these little steps that you can take every single day, instead of just focusing on the end result. The shiny object syndrome, aka impulsivity, which means preferring the short-term benefits over the way bigger but long-term benefits. It is really difficult to fix this impulsivity because sometimes, especially when we're tired, we are sad, when our emotions are really heightened, we have the self-control of a piece of toast. But being aware that that's how it is really helps. If we are aware that we keep choosing to scroll on TikTok because that gives us some dopamine, it gives us this instant gratification, we can make the conscious choice to go with the difficult thing and to do that over and over and over again until our brain adapts and accepts the fact that it's only gonna get a reward far down the line. It's really important to be aware of the bigger picture, the bigger goals, and to remind yourself of that in the moment where you have to choose between an easy thing and a difficult thing. The easy thing being watching Netflix, for instance, and the difficult thing being studying for your exam that you have tomorrow. If you keep choosing the action that actually aligns with your bigger goals, then you truly build the foundation for lasting success. We really need to stop making these unconscious decisions of choosing the easy way out, because who wants their life to be influenced by unconscious decisions? You know, when in a fully conscious state in the evening, you set your alarm for 6 a.m. and then in the morning where you're not really conscious, you're still half asleep, you choose to hit the snooze button, then you are making an unconscious decision. So in that moment, you need to ask yourself if you would prefer the conscious or the unconscious decision, and tell yourself that conscious you decided that it would be a good idea to get up at this time. So you're gonna get up at this time. Discipline is truly built out of these little bricks of conscious decisions. So whenever we're about to make an unconscious decision, let's pause, let's reassess, let's take a step back and ask ourselves if that truly aligns with our long-term vision for our life. Accountability. Accountability can be really hard, specifically intrinsic accountability, holding yourself accountable. That's difficult. So having external accountability can be a good idea. Things like friends, deciding to go to the gym with friends so that you can keep each other accountable. That's amazing. That is an example for an external source of accountability. But you shouldn't rely on it. You should be able to go to the gym even if your friends are staying home that day. So ideally, external accountability becomes a support system and not a necessity. Because all you truly need is that you hold yourself accountable. So while I think it's completely fine to start with some external accountability and to also involve your friends in this journey of being disciplined, or to give yourself a reward when you do something that's difficult, that is amazing, but make sure that that doesn't become a necessity and that over time you actually build a habit and do these difficult things like working out, studying, working out of your intrinsic accountability, out of just, well, I'm gonna do it because I said I would do it. I told myself I would do it, so I will do it. How many times did I say I will do it? By the way, I also post on my Instagram and my TikTok about my daily life, so make sure to check that out. I really think there are two types of YouTubers. One is your bestie, one is your teacher. I do not want to be your teacher, I want to be your bestie, okay? We are all besties here on this channel, but you do have homework. You know, watching self-development videos without actually trying to apply them to your life doesn't bring that much. It's great, but you only really get value from them if you actually apply it to your life. So this week, try to make the difficult choices sometimes. Try to really implement discipline into your life. They don't need to be really big things, but try to make these small but difficult choices, like not snoozing your alarm and deciding to go to bed early instead of scrolling on TikTok for another hour. Things like this really compound and you can learn so much from them and then just apply it to other areas of your life. So that is truly how you build discipline. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can do anything you set your mind to, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.